What a beautiful, cold, rainy, dreary day. Why do I say beautiful with cold, rainy, and dreary? It's because every day is a blessing. Whether it's a beautiful sunshine summer day or cold, nasty, rainy, snowy day, it doesn't matter. We are alive. So we have opportunities to chase our dreams, chase our aspirations, chase our objectives. I'm very excited to find out that my buyer client in Connecticut received an accepted offer, and we are on our way to conduct an inspection. Now, this inspection is an exterior and interior inspection of a single family house, and it'll be conducted by my good friend John Felix. He's a beast in the game. He comes from an investigation background. This guy finds things that we don't even see with a human eye. He's that detail oriented. So I'm super excited to film him on his work. I'm gonna be on the background and I'm gonna let him do his thing. Just do his thing, and it's gonna be very educational. He's gonna go through the whole house, from, give you an example, of plumbing to electrical to windows, roof, everything. So I'm super excited, and I just want to let everyone know today is so cold and bad outside, but we're still out here. We're still not giving up. We could have just canceled. Like, look at the conditions in these roads. We could have canceled. We could have just say, hey, you know, go another time. But time is so limited, and we have to make sure we take advantage of all the opportunities, no matter what. It's easy to just cop out and just say, let's just cancel. So with that being said, to not just real estate agents, to everyone that's watching, lock in on your goals, lock in on what you want to do, because time is going to pass you by. So take advantage of it. Time is so finite. We keep pushing it to the side, and nothing happens. So that's just an example of where we are. Our mindset has to be greater than these little obstacles. It's nothing. So check this out. I'm super excited. Let me know what you think. I need you to just add things into the comments.
Property. We're going to focus on the structural, the integrity of the home. I want to make sure that structurally the house is in great shape. I'm going to focus on your roof. Okay. Although it's snowing today, it's going to be a little challenging to see how the conditions of the shingles are, but we'll try our best to get around that, right? Particularly if you have an attic. I just want to make sure that when the elements fall, snow, rain, everything stays away from the property, or at least maintains the property as dry as possible. We're going to focus on your electric system, your plumbing system, your drain, your HVAC system, so your boiler, your hot water heater. If you have a cooling system, we'll look at that as well. It's going to be an intimate time with the house, so we'll probably be here about an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours. If we get caught up having a good conversation, we could be here all day.
I'm trying to get comfortable anyway.
So, you know, don't be afraid to ask me any questions. Okay. Today is the time to ask questions.
Okay.
Right? Are we going to find defects? Very likely. The topic then becomes, what kind of defect is it? How did this defect get here? And what can we do in the future to kind of prevent it from happening? Okay. So you can get a good 30, 40, 50 years out of the house.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's kind of the ultimate goal. Walk with me, you know, ask questions. No question is too silly. Yeah. So the more you know at the end of the inspection, the better we are to make a better decision down the road. Okay. All right? In the event that you needed to shut it off for whatever reason, very likely you never had to touch it. This is your main entry coming in from the town, right? Okay. So whoever your utility supplier is comes from that lamppost there, comes all the way down this twisted wire, comes into your masthead, You see that loop that's there?
Yeah.
That's what we call a drip loop.
Okay.
That's there by design. In case it rains, water will never trickle into your box.
Okay.
Because once it reaches that lower loop, it drips down.
Great.
That's the drip loop.
Great.
Right? And then it'll never make its way back into the masthead. And then into the box. So what this all tells me is, for lack of expressions, your electrical meter is behind this wall.
Okay. Got it.
In the house. So whenever you see this, behind that wall is the electrical meter.
Okay.
Right. So I know when I go into the house, I already know I got to cut left.
Okay. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what that means. But everything else here looks okay. You see that gray box there with the cut-off wires? That's your old telephone junction box for like AT&T, 9X, Bell Atlantic back in the day.
In the day.
Right.
Yeah.
So that's how I'm dating myself. 'Cause I can talk about, so if you don't want it there because of aesthetics, you can get rid of it.
Okay. Cool.
But if you don't mind, you can also leave it there.
All right.
This is called a sump pump.
Okay.
All right. So this is here because geographically where the house sits, the water table underneath the house tends to change. Right. It'll flow higher and lower from time to time. You know what a water table is?
Yeah, I know.
So when it rains, the soil absorbs the water.
Okay.
Right. So let's say this is the foundation of your house. Right. Here, where we are right now.
Yep.
And as it rains, the soil is absorbing the water. At some point, that water can only reach so far.
Okay.
Eventually, if it rains a lot, that water underneath the soil continues to rise.
Okay.
At some point, in some cases, depending where the house sits, it goes above the foundation of the house. That's why you see some roads flood. Some people say sometimes my house flooded, but I don't have any water coming in through the walls because it's coming from the ground.
Okay.
Right. So to help alleviate that, to help prevent that, homes install sump pumps.
Okay.
And so this is a basin. Underneath that basin, it's like a big bucket.
Okay.
It has holes, perforated holes inside.
send
And allows for that natural water to come inside.
Okay.
There's a pump in there as well. Once that pump activates and it reaches a certain level, the flow activates and it starts to eject that water away from the property to alleviate the water from coming into the property.
Good, Bob.
All right. This is a backflow preventer, so whatever comes up won't come back down.
Okay.
All right. It should always be plugged in because you want to make sure that pump is always working.
All right. Gotcha.
All right. So it's a new installation. So that's what we're looking at there. I'm gonna squeeze by here.
Sure.
You guys can stay there though. This is your hot water heater.
Okay.
All your hot water for the house comes from this tank.
Got you.
This is a 40-gallon tank. Okay. This is your data tag. This is the brand of your water heater. It's called Ream.
Okay.
All right. I'm gonna recommend that annually, every 12 months, you service this. Now, what does that mean? You drain it out completely, and then you refill it because you want to get all that sediment out from underneath it. If you've never done it before, which
I haven't.
you haven't done it, hire a plumber to come in and do it.
Okay.
Stand behind them and record them.
Okay.
Okay. Once you feel comfortable, you start doing it yourself. It's pretty easy.
Okay.
If you're still not comfortable, keep calling that plumber to come back and do it.
Man, I'm gonna be an HVAC. I'm an engineer, be an HVAC engineer. I just got hired.
All right, so then there you go.
About him.
The only call that I'm going to make on this installation is that this is an electric system.
Okay.
But hot water is coming out of here.
Okay.
And so the electrical code states that whenever you're running a water heater, you need to run 18 inches of copper before you start with your PEX line.
Okay.
Because the integrity of the hot water will continue to degrade the connections.
Copper for that.
So you need to go up 18 inches of copper before we start PEX. So this installation is improper.
Okay.
Okay? What we don't want is the fittings to melt.
Okay. Yeah.
And then start leaking. So that's why I'm calling that out.
Okay.
And then these are obviously your shuttle valves for your cold and hot water.
Okay.
In the center here, you have a temperature relief valve. This is just to release the pressure in case there's too much pressure inside the tank. Once it reaches 150 pounds of pressure, this valve will activate. I'm going to want you guys to install an extension valve that comes down 4 feet. In case it does eject water, it doesn't collect and rust out the top. It'll eject it down below.
Okay. So extension.
All right. So this is your main drain. All right. This is called a U-trap because it's in the shape of a U.
Okay.
If you ever have your system clog up, too many baby wipes, you've been throwing too much food down the drain in the kitchen,
kids.
whatever it is, right? Your kids, toys, whatever have you, and you need to snake the line. You need to open the line.
Okay.
You're gonna come down here to your main. You're gonna open up this cap. It's not twisted on. It's just sealed.
Okay.
So get a hammer and a wrench and just kind of loosen it up.
Gotcha.
All right. and then open that up.
Okay.
And then you're going to put your snake in there, and it's going to go ahead and do its thing.
Okay.
Now, when you open this up, you're going to see a collection of water here. Okay, that collection of water is there on purpose. It's intentional. Okay? That's what prevents the sewer gases from entering the home and coming out of your sinks. Okay? If you're going to remember anything I tell you today, anything,
a lot of it.
if you're going to remember anything, I want you to remember the following.
Okay.
This is your main water meter.
Okay.
All the water for this property comes in through this line.
Okay.
It registers in this meter,
Okay.
and then it gets distributed throughout the house.
All right.
Okay? Now, you know I got the water running upstairs.
Yes.
All right, what do you see that meter doing right now? It's spinning, right?
Yeah.
All right. Jesse, get in there so you can see.
Let me see. Go ahead, just some more.
See how that needle's spinning right there? Okay? Whenever you see that needle spinning, it's indicating that the meter is registering water usage.
Okay.
There's water flowing through that meter.
All right.
All right? So, if you ever get your water bill, you're going to get your water bill every 3 months. If you get your water bill and 1 month you say, this is astronomically too high, this is unusual, go ahead and turn everything off in the house.
Okay.
Make sure everything is off.
Okay.
Come down here. If that needle is spinning, that means that this is still registering water.
Okay.
That means you have a potential leak somewhere.
Gotcha.
Okay? That means I want you to go back upstairs, check
Okay.
your toilets,
Okay.
lift that lid, check that flapper.
Okay.
Sometimes that flapper doesn't close all the way, and water's just running and you don't even realize it. And that's why this could be registered. That's one of the areas. It could be a radiator, it could be
be a lot of
behind the
places.
ground, it could be a million different places, but that's just the one place I want you to check first because that's within your reach.
Okay.
All right? Once you close the water lines, this is going to stop spinning.
Okay.
But that's not what I want you to remember. This is what I want you to remember. Let's say a water line breaks in the house. You're gushing water out of a wall, beneath a floor, and you don't want anything to get damaged. I want you to come down here. I want you to grab this handle that's here.
Yep.
See this, Jesse? Over
I'm here.
Oh, you can see it, yeah? And I want you to turn it.
Thank God. You know what's so crazy?
That's
that was
it.
my next question, bro.
That stops the whole house
Okay.
from receiving water.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay.
I was about to ask that.
And now you turn it back on, and it kind of kicks back on.
I was just about to ask that question. In case of a leak, say a pipe burst, what would I do? Right
You
here.
come down here, and you just turn
Right
it.
here.
That's
Gotcha.
it.
Perfect. Gotcha. Thank you. Yeah, that's important.
So you're not catching me off guard. I once opened up an attic and had a Chucky doll.
What?
No.
Sitting there, just sitting there. Like right there, just I was
Nah, that's a little.
and the homeowner came home and he was like, "Did you find Chucky?"
Did you find check?
No, you did it to my son.
That's purposely. That's funny.
Appreciate it.
Oh my goodness.
funny.
Yeah, I'm gonna love this one. You have a little bed here, a full sound fan. You have little couches and all that, little pink jugs, TV.
So John, all that insulation that's hanging out, is that something that has to be replaced and?
It should be pressed back in. What happened is it's fiberglass insulation, and whoever lived here was storing stuff in here, and it just kind of like they kept rubbing it, and it kind of just came apart. So it's just a matter of maybe getting some straps and just kind of putting it back into
Got
place,
it.
or you just replace it if you want.
All right. So John, what was your experience with John Felix going through the house and doing the inspection?
Hey man, John Felix is amazing, man. I mean, I learned so much during this inspection. Gave me a lot of great ideas, which I appreciate. Just put me on a lot of game. I learned a lot about my home, and I feel confident moving forward. Anything I need to do here, he set me up for success, man. So I really appreciate him. Appreciate you guys getting me in contact with this gentleman. And this won't be our last interaction. You can believe that. So thanks a lot.
I appreciate that.
Thank you, brother.
But I wanted to ask you something though. So before we started the inspection, you came in with a couple of concerns.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your chimney was a concern, the grading of the house, the exterior,
Absolutely.
the way it was sloped was a concern. What were those concerns that you had? If you can just go over a couple of them. And then how do you feel about them now?
Sure. Yeah, so, my chimney, as far as it not being active and usable, you just gave me a great explanation about, how I can go about that process of getting it open and active for me. and my family, and that's going to be a great feature and fixture to our home. Which
Because he loves the crackling
I
sounds.
love the crackling sound. One of the biggest features that we wanted about this house, man. So it's going to make our holidays a lot better, man. And my memories are going to last forever with that crackling, man. So also, just the yard, man. Loving the yard. Feel confident that we can make something happen out there, and my dreams are going to come into fruition of what I want and how I need my backyard to look. And I'm just so grateful, man. Put me onto a lot of things about my house and home that I may not have been knowledgeable about, but I am knowledgeable now, and moving forward, I'm going to be able to, actually navigate my home.
So that's right, guys. I mean, he has big plans. He wants to install a pond in the back, potentially a little waterfall for him and his family to enjoy.
Absolutely.
So a lot of these things are going to get realized, and hopefully, with Jesse's ability to record the before and after, we may see that. But overall, man, I applaud you for everything you've accomplished up to this point.
Thank you, man.
I know you're going to be a great homeowner.
Thank
You were very receptive to, the understanding of the home and what's going on. So I know that, you're going to take care of this place. And, right now, it's just a house.
That's right.
And so when you move in, it'll become a home.
Absolutely. Thanks
And
to
so
you, my brother.
many blessings to you and
Thanks
your
to you,
family.
my brother.
And God bless you.
And you
brother.
turned me into an instant handyman.